How are you?
Good. How's ankle feeling? It seemed like it was bugging you a little bit.
Okay. Just a little nagging, end of the season kind of things.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
Well, first off, congrats on making the playoffs again. I
thank
know
you.
y'all don't really care. You're just ready to get there, and you guys have bigger plans. I wanted to ask just about the half court offense in general. I feel like you've been seeing a lot more like shaded and gapped help instead of straight up double teams since the All-Star break. Um, what kind of things do you think you guys can do to keep working on building off that? I feel like obviously there were moments, but in terms of making that consistent in the half court, what kind of things do you want to hit on and see?
Yeah, I mean, it's about reading what they're giving you. I think we're a very versatile team. Just like tonight, they were sending two people at me on the post, and it's just about being in each other's vision and making the right pass. And I think that's the cool thing about this team is that we're so unselfish. We have so many great shooters, and right now it's just about seeing what they're giving us.
Yeah, most definitely. Going off that too, I wanted to ask, Beck has been like, especially I think she had six combined steals and blocks tonight. In terms of like having somebody else who has that kind of length, and like obviously there's multiple players on the team, but especially with what she's brought the last couple of weeks, as a high level defender yourself, what really stands out about what she can do on the defensive end?
Yeah, it's huge. I think we always say this even before when we're playing against Beck. You don't realize how long she is, and
Yeah.
you might think you're away from her, and she just closes you with her length. So having that type of energy, defense, effort, and somebody that's getting those kind of stops, it just fuels your defense, and that was what the goal was tonight was to come out and set the tone defensively.
Sure. I got more too, but Eric, you can go ahead.
I don't think he has any questions.
Okay, I got you. My bad. Yeah. Well, sorry. Let's keep going. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel like you've grown most this year as a player? I know you've like always been capable of doing a lot of these things, but it's just a different environment. But yeah. What do you think's maybe been the biggest thing you've grown in?
I think just being patient, with losing Bree, that was a big blow. And
Mhm.
we had to pivot and figure out how to play. And it was an adjustment for everybody. DB shifting to the four, essentially playing the five, and not having everybody panic and thinking that you have to play any differently. So I think for me, just bringing my teammates along and giving them the confidence that they need. And playoffs is right around the corner, and we need everybody firing on full cylinders.
Definitely. Speaking on that patience part, what does that look like for you in terms of becoming a more patient person? Because I feel like, especially like, I don't know, just like knowing how you play and how you see things on court, like I can understand how it'd be, and just doing that feature I used last year. I know it's a lot on trying to being patient. So like, how does that play out in working to be more patient?
Yeah, I mean, I think I see the floor very well, and trying to get everybody to read the game and see what I'm seeing and get them easy opportunities. There's times where we're working way harder than what we need to do, and so it's just about what the defense is giving us and making the right cuts and reads. And it's been a process. By no means is this offense easy,
Mhm.
and it's day by day and piece by piece kind of thing, but. I think little by little we're getting it more and more, and everybody's starting to understand how we can take advantage of other teams.
Awesome. Appreciate it, T. That's all I got for you. Also, I just want to say congrats to you and DB. Really excited for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
good
Have a good
seeing
one. Good to see you
you.
too.
Grab stuff in a sec.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, yeah, head coach Stephanie White. Let's have a quick opening statement, and then Mark, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Cool. Sounds good.
First and foremost, just proud of our group for bouncing back. I thought for a lot of the game, our defensive energy, our defensive connectedness was really good. Our communication was really good. We still have moments, where we might not be in the right spot at the right time, but we were able to make up for some of that with our effort and our energy. The two areas obviously that we need to continue to get better is we got to take better care of the ball, the turnovers for scores, and the fouling in the last minute and a half. Like, we just have to be more disciplined, and we have to be able to finish off ball games.
Awesome. Steph, first off, congrats on making the playoffs. I know, exciting for you guys. I wanted to ask, kind of, going into the half court offense, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like since All-Star break, you guys have seen a lot more of like shaded help instead of full on double teams. Like, obviously that makes it a little bit harder with cutting lanes and kind of opening some things up. What things do you want to see to maybe take advantage of that or try and counteract it?
I want to see us move and shift quicker instead of standing and watching. Our spacing lends to defensive 3-second calls.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if there's no commitment, we can't cut on top of an opportunity to get that call. So we've got to make sure, but we can exchange on the backside. We can hit and split on the backside, or hit and fill on the same side. So I think more of our off ball reading and spacing, and then movement. So we've either got to go right away or give it a chance to develop, especially with AT, like watch AT go to work to try to back defenders down. And then on the commitment, now we have multiple people moving. We've got to cut and we've got to fill. Right now, we just have one of those things happening.
Okay. So a lot of like having the right timing,
Yes.
timing, pacing. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I wanted to ask too, like, obviously, like, it's easy to like point out like Beck is a good defender. She had 6 steals and blocks tonight, which is just like kind of bonkers to put together. But like, what to you stands out the most about what she does defensively?
I think she's very unassuming out there, but she uses her length well. She can have her hands, down by her knees, and then all of a sudden get up there and get a deflection. She recovers back into plays and uses her length to get block shots. She uses her one hand to go tip a rebound to someone else and keep it alive. So I think Beck is just she's a smart defender in understanding how to use her body, how to use her length. And that allows her to make up for some things that might technically, or if she's playing a player who's quicker than her. And it also allows us some versatility with her size and her ability to defend multiple positions.
Definitely. Lastly, I wanted to ask, just in general, with the last 3 games, obviously coming into tonight, what, like, when you're going through a stretch where things aren't clicking, or haven't been working as well as they have early on in the season, what, like, I guess 2-part a little bit, what things are you doing to try and reestablish, what makes the sun? And how different do you think you're handling that compared to when you were maybe with the Fever?
I think 2 things. I think first and foremost, we can't hit the panic button. Like, the ebbs and flows of this season, it happens. We just got to be able to stay together, and we got to be able to stay connected, and we've got to be able to find ways, in those moments. You can't lose the hustle plays, right? You can't lose the 50-50 balls. You can't lose the effort related things, because teams and players, at this point in the year, they're executing better. They're reading a little bit more. They're knocking down. I mean, people are elevating, right? Players are elevating. I think second thing is, during this stretch, we've played teams that are really hard for us to match up with because of our lineup.
For sure.
And so we have to also keep that into perspective. We almost have to play perfect basketball when you're defending at all 5 positions and you're giving up, 6-7 inches, in a couple of different positions, and 3 or 4 inches in another position. So, it's not like, we're playing teams that aren't any good, right? Like, every team in this league is really good. And Phoenix has 2 Olympians, and they shot the crap out of the ball when they played us. And BG's a tough matchup for DB. Dallas has 5 players on the floor that you have to guard at all times. And and then you have Kalani Brown coming off the bench, who's just another force inside. And so, I think we also have to maintain perspective on the matchup, and understand that we hit a little bit of wall. Yeah, it didn't look great Certainly it's disheartening because you don't want to lose, but we also have to regroup. We also have to understand that there's an ebb and flow to a season. And then we gotta find our way. I mean, the goal is to beat these teams in a series in the playoffs. And so we take the things that we did well in our matchups that we won and the things that we struggled with and the ones that we lost, and we put them together and we try to put the best game plan together.
Definitely. Last thing I want to ask off that too, when you're, like obviously like we know what level you guys are at, like making the playoffs, like we mentioned, but when you're trying to like maybe mentally check on like what you want accomplished before the season is over to be ready for the playoffs, like how do you kind of keep track of that?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I think you look at the analytics. I think you look at certainly the minutes being played and how important rest and recovery is.
Mhm.
I think we look at our personnel on the floor and the combinations on the floor. Who's really good for us offensively, and what combinations are those, and who's defensively, and is how we can help collectively all 5 players on the floor be successful. No, I think that's the goal. We've got 2, 3 some nights, and not everybody. Well, we've got to have 5, 6. Like
Yeah.
that's how we're built. So how do we build that confidence with one another? How do we continue to empower one another? How do we make each other better? And what lineups are those? And without having that consistency, it's tough to figure out what those lineups are. And then we just have to have a heightened awareness with the amount of minutes that AT and DB are playing in our practice time. We've got players who need our reps in practice. And then we've got those two who might need more mental reps, but physical rest. And that's a tough thing to manage too. But I think the biggest thing is continue to chip away, continue to bring awareness to the areas that we still have to get better. Taking care of the ball, boxing out and rebounding, keeping people off the free throw line, and continue to show the film and get better from it.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Steph. That's all I got.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks. You have a good one.
You too.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Thanks, Caroline. Have a good one.
You too.